Hello, everybody. Rose Thorn here. So today I'm doing something just for fun. So one of my subscribers suggested that I do a video, a fun react to abandoned old mansions, some really beautiful mansions. And I thought that was a fabulous idea. You guys already probably know that I just have a thing for abandoned places. I love to do photography, and what better place to do photography than perhaps old abandoned buildings and mansions because the architecture is usually just so outstanding. All the beautiful lines and the tile and the marble and so forth just makes for really beautiful pictures. So I went all over the internet looking for pictures of really gorgeous abandoned mansions, some of them French chalets and European mansions, and I gathered them all together and I decided to make a video just showing these things to you because it's always good to share beauty with people. Foodie Beauty, she's doing a live right now. I'm not sniping. I'll wait until she's done to react to it, if there's even anything to react to, if it's not the same old, same old. But let's just take a break from foodie for a minute and just look at something beautiful and pay attention to something beautiful. So let me go ahead and just share the screen with you because some of these mansions have a very interesting history as well. So there's the first picture. Now this, my friends, is a picture from Mike Tyson's former mansion, which has now been abandoned. This is his bathroom. Look at all the tile everywhere. I mean, that's a very bold design, but just, they get the beautiful black marbled floors. It goes all the way up to the tub area, some kind of crazy design on the ceiling and the walls. I mean, I think every inch of that room is just either tile or marble, except for the sink area, which I don't know what kind of wood that is. It looks like walnut, but it's a very bold color block. It's just, you've got the greens, you've got the blacks, the blues all put together. It's a very bold room. It's very suitable for Mr. Tyson, but this is from his abandoned mansion. Nobody lives there. And you know that room took a pretty penny to put together. So yeah, this is from Mike Tyson's old mansion. So let's move on to the next picture. Okay, so I know this isn't too incredibly fancy, but I'm one of those people that when it comes to something that's broken, even if it's something is broken or worn down, I can still look at it and see the value. I don't know the condition of this house. It looks like there's some ceiling damage. I don't know if that could be repaired, but I'd be the kind of person that could walk into a place like this, and my first thought would not be, this place is ruined, forget it. I would look at it and say, can it be fixed? And if so, how much money would it take? I mean, I'm one of those people that I'm all about, can this be saved? Because to me, beautiful houses and mansions and monuments and things like that, they're usually well made. So why tear the whole doggone thing down? Just do the repairs and keep it as is. If it's got good bones, leave it alone. It looks like there is some structural damage, though, that might be a concern, but I love the winding staircase. It looks like there's one going down as well as up. Love the lines and all of that, but like, this is actually, it looks like it's a beautiful house. It just needs some repair work. So take a look at that. Take a look at that. This is obviously from someplace in Europe. And yes, there is some structural damage. But again, I would look through a place like this and go, can this be fixed? As far as old houses like this where the walls are not perfect and the floor may be perfect, repair the floor. But I would actually leave the walls as is because it does add character to the house. I mean, the style these days is, sometimes you got brand new houses that the builders will go out of their way to make things look worn in and worn down to give it a more rustic feel. This place already has it, and I love the beautiful design on the ceiling. I mean, you don't see stuff like this anymore. So a place like this, even though yes, it's worn down, why not fix it up? Why not put some of the work in? Because the reward is you would get a very unique house that is not like anybody else's. If the floor were fixed up, I would move into a place like this, no problem. This place is stunning, absolutely stunning. So what do we got going on here? We've got the beautiful tile design on the ceiling. You've got the detail on the sides. You've got, it looks like green tile on both walls and around where the door places are. Stunning, absolutely stunning. This almost looks like it should belong with royalty. But that that entire area is bigger than my house. Again, this is a place that I would move into in a heartbeat. It's airy, it's spacious, it's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Even worn down places like this still look much more beautiful than your basic place with the white walls and the white ceiling. There's character, there's style. Love it all day. Here's another example of an old house. You got this beautiful, huge fireplace. You've got the tile detail on the ceiling. You've got the murals on the walls. I mean, this looks like something that's straight out of a fairy tale. Again, you don't find places like this in the big, beautiful window on the side. I'm not quite sure if that's a place to step up to or sit down. It looks like there's like a brief bench next to the windows that might lead out to a balcony. But this place is heavenly. I mean, if somebody said you can move in, I would just sweep the floor and put some furniture in there and call it a day. I wouldn't change anything else. Absolutely stunning. You just don't see places like this anymore around. I wish there were more like them. Now, the reason why I put this picture in, it's not too terribly unusual. This is actually a picture from, anybody know the group Pink Floyd? Of course you do. Who hasn't heard of Pink Floyd? This is the abandoned mansion of the guitar player David Gilmour. This is David Gilmour's former mansion. It's very, very, it has a very masculine feel, but I'm sure it's an absolutely beautiful place. You know, David Gilmour, he's not about the floof. He's a very simple, straightforward kind of guy. Obviously, his house reflects that. But I just thought it'd be an interesting picture to toss in there because it was his house. You know, people always wonder how celebrities and people with money live. Well, here's an example of a mansion that the guitar player from Pink Floyd once owned. Now, this is a more modern mansion. There was a rapper that actually bought this house. I knew his name when I took the picture out. Now I forget. I'm sorry. But he bought the place for the purpose of flipping it to make a profit. But look how gorgeous that is. I love the clean, beautiful lines. Love the domed architecture. It has a very clean, modern feel to it. The beautiful tile floor. I mean, this house could easily fit in quite nicely in some place like California or Florida near the Palm Beach area, right next to the beach. It would not be out of place at all. So this is not the house. This is kind of the hallway. But again, look at the beautiful domed architecture, the details on the top of the door. Everything is a light, airy feel, big windows, even the light blue paint. I'm telling you, I wouldn't change a thing. I would leave the house just as it is. The only thing I would be concerned about is any structural damage. Is the roof leaking? Is there mold? If there's no structural damage, if it has good bones, leave it alone. You know, like paint peeling, don't care. Just move right in. Oh, look at this. Look at that. It has a very old world, elegant feel to it. So gorgeous. So incredibly gorgeous. Uh, Clean the place up. See if there's anything important that needs to be repaired, fix it, be done with it. But this is like a very old building. Old building. And there's so much character in old buildings. They hold a much different energy and feel than the newer buildings, and that's something else that I dig. Even as a photographer, I love the old buildings, love to photograph old buildings because time just will change the look and feel of a building inside and out, and it gives it more character, it gives it more depth than what it had before when it was brand new. So here's another beautiful room. On to the next picture. What an amazing ceiling. Absolutely amazing. That ceiling alone would be worth saving the house for. I mean, yes, there is some structural damage going on the bottom left, but it doesn't look like it's anything too terribly hard to fix. That could be an easy fix, but just fix that, sweep the floor, and as long as the rest of the house is in that same kind of condition, just move in. But that ceiling it is heavenly. Can you just imagine, like, these houses that I've shown you, how much time and energy and thought went into them, all the craftsmanship? It's mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing, the craftsmanship, the artistry that went into creating these places. The green room. I call this place the green room because there's green everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. But again, it doesn't look like it's in that bad of condition. This room right here is just it's awe-inspiring. Absolutely awe-inspiring. Love the huge fireplace, the detail above the fireplace, the details of the ceiling. I tell you what, as far as the European architecture back in the day, I mean, they blow us away even today. You got to figure these houses have been standing for so long and they still look like this. That's a testament to the hard work and the craftsmanship that went into making them. The fact that they're still around, they're not a complete shambles, that even if they are a little bit broken, I mean, they still retain so much incredible beauty. I love that beautiful archway doorway. Even though it looks like a couple of the doors or the windows are missing, again, that would be an easy fix. Just fix them and the place, and take out the stuff on the inside that don't belong there, and the place would be okay. You could probably still use the fireplace. That's totally workable for me. Ah, another heavenly room. Ah, I love color. I love detail. It just adds so much class to a place. That fireplace is enormous. It's just absolutely enormous. But the murals on the walls, the beautiful colored tiles, the ceiling, I mean, we're only seeing one part of this room. I have to imagine what the other part looks like. If you see the entire room as it is, it looks like there's a couple of sitting areas by the window. I could see moving into a place like this and adding a couple of couches and some cushions right next to the windows, and then using that to sit and read a book when on a sunny day. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Another heavenly room. Another one. There's nothing wrong with this house, it looks like. I don't see anything wrong with the floor. The ceiling's in great shape. And it looks like you get these two huge doors that lead somewhere. I don't know if it's outside or to another room, but just it's very feminine without being overly feminine, very classic. I mean, you could do anything with this room if you want to decorate it, anything, and it would work. Absolutely anything. Give an old world glamour feel, and it would totally fit right in. So again, there's the details of the ceiling, uh, details of the walls, everything. And I got this thing about the old school wallpaper. And I love the designs of the old school wallpaper. Just gives a very vintage feel. Love that. And again, the floor looks like it's in great shape. Nothing wrong with it. So this is part of a mansion. And even though the colors aren't bright, I love that strong staircase going upwards. I love that spiral thing right next to the staircase. You got the fireplace in front. It just, I would just love to run around a place like that. Plenty of space to run around in. I really love this. I really love this picture. That domed archway leading into another room. Lots of sunlight coming through the windows. It looks like there's a door going out perhaps to a backyard or garden area. I mean, this would be almost like like an enclosed patio area. You can do tea time outside out in this area. Just set up a little table and just have yourself a nice cup of tea. Perhaps even have a greenhouse outside. Love the detailed ceilings, the detail with the ceilings. It's so gorgeous. All right, so everybody look at this picture. Some people might say, well, there's a lot of damage here, Rose. And you're right, there is some damage, but there's a lot of stones and stuff on the ground. And yes, I acknowledge that the glass door thing that should be there is not there. But even a place that looks like this is worth saving, because again, you just don't see stuff like this anymore. I would take out all of the debris and stuff from the inside, just give it a look and say, like, what can be fixed here, what doesn't need to be fixed, what can be left alone. You can replace that glass door and any window panes that have gotten broken. You can take all the stones and stuff out. If there's anything wrong with the side wall there, fix that, and the place would be perfectly livable. And it's gorgeous and unique. And unique is awesome. Now, I know some of you are going to come at me and say, well, this place is ruined, but it's still a beautiful picture. I love that staircase. I love the ironwork with the staircase. Whoever took this picture was great with photography because they got the absolute right angle. So I'm not quite sure what this room was used for. It looks like it was maybe a child's room, something to do with children. You've got, it looks like a bit of a stage or something for perhaps theater. It could be used as a theater room, but I love the fact that it's bright, it's airy, and again, I wouldn't paint the walls. I would leave them as is. It looks like it's in perfect shape. Maybe it was a theater at some point. You know, of all the houses that I'm about to show you guys, the mansions, this is the one that I would take the most. I love that open area, that right there, that alcove. You could put a couch there, you could put cushions, you could do anything you want with it. Sit and read a book on a sunny day. That's like the perfect sitting conversation area. I love the domed archways. I would even leave the paint alone. Don't bother repainting. Leave it as is. You repaint something like this, you're gonna ruin it. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Look at those beautiful domed windows looking out towards everything. Heavenly, absolutely heavenly. Now, this place it's abandoned, but still in almost immaculate condition. And look at all the detail, all the carvings and stuff on the walls, everything absolutely breathtaking. Blows away anything that I've seen locally. Absolutely. If this place were not abandoned, I mean, if somebody actually took it on and fixed it up and made whatever structural repairs, it would be absolutely breathtaking to have as a home. So this place is a bit more simple compared to the others, but still it's really nice. It's, you know, it's all about the details. The more detail you put into something, the more care you put into it, what a difference that makes as far as how it looks and how it stands the test of time. So this is more of a slightly modern, a little bit more modern mansion, not as much detail, but still very impressive compared to this. This has a lot of detail. This is extra, extra, but extra in a good way. Loving the stained glass windows, loving those. You've got the beautiful detailed ceiling, the archways coming down from the ceiling, the tile work on the walls. It all just works. So we got a little bit of structural damage here, but again, you look at this and say, yeah, there's some damage, but it's not too bad. It's still worth investing money into, and it's still worth saving. Why tear down something this beautiful? Work on fixing it. That's the way I look at things. If I see something that's a little worn, I don't immediately dismiss it. I say, can this be saved? Is it still worth something? The answer is yes, save it. What a beautiful old mansion. Absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful, beautiful. Worth saving. I don't know what room this was for, if it was a ballroom exactly, but again, this is something that needs to be saved, and it should never ever be torn down. Never. Not in a million years. So this room, I mean, top to bottom is flawless. Beautiful tile floors. You got the detail on the walls, detail on the ceiling, murals everywhere. It just works. You know, the people that were crafting these things back in the day, they were using color schemes and patterns that if we tried to do that in the modern world, it wouldn't work. But because it's old world, it just works. It just absolutely works. I love this. I love this picture. Has a very elegant, feminine yet not too feminine feel to it. The attention to putting the archway in the doorway, it just makes it feel more classy. The big windows, the fireplace, it all works together. Okay, nobody rag on me for this one. It's still a beautiful picture. You're like, the floor is missing, Rose. What are you doing? And that floor is completely missing. You can't save that. I didn't bring it up for that reason. This is not a house that you can save, obviously, because the top floor is completely gone. I mean, you could save it. It would take a lot. You could still save it, but never mind the floor. Pay attention to the walls and the ceiling. It's such a shame because can you imagine how this place looked back when it was completely 100% whole? It would have been a stunner, absolute stunner. So what makes this place interesting is that this chateau was actually from the 70s. You know, it's sometimes interesting to go into mansions that from different time periods because, you know, with the architecture and also with the furniture, it's almost like walking back in time. You get to see how things were back during a certain time period, the furniture that people used and how they decorated, and you can still feel that energy in the house. This is still a really beautiful house. I love the crisscross design on the ceiling and the murals all around it. Absolutely amazing. So this house has more of a masculine feel, very strong, with the dark wood all around and the dark walls. Still absolutely beautiful. Stunning. 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 Mouth dropping. What else can you say? Detail everywhere you look. Beauty everywhere you look. It doesn't look like there's any kind of big amounts of damage everywhere. And this place is abandoned. Why hasn't anybody bought it to fix it up? It's insane. I think there are too many people that judge a house based on the outside. And if they hear it's an abandoned house, they don't want to approach it. But maybe if they look on the inside, they'll change their minds. Because usually with abandoned places, there might be beauty inside the house you never even thought about that is worth paying for them. So, I mean, the beautiful stained glass window, the doorways, this is stuff you just don't find anymore. This is craftsmanship that is just really hard to come by. So if you're someone you're looking to get a house and you want something that looks really nice, why not look into abandoned houses because you just never know what you'll find there. This picture is actually from Mike Tyson's old abandoned mansion. You know that first picture that I showed when I first started this video? This is the same house. This is the area where this is a swimming pool area. It's about as big as a gymnasium. Look at all the cedar for the ceiling. You know, again, this has been abandoned. There's not a whole lot of damage here. The pool needs a lot of work. That's obvious. But other than that, it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I mean, shoot, you could the size of his swimming area is bigger than my whole apartment complex. Very impressive though. So this place was also abandoned. Oh, hold on. Did I skip past? Okay, hold on, mister. You're just skipping ahead of me. You cut that out. You just stop that. All right. So this place was also abandoned. It's fully furnished. I mean, somebody could practically just move in like that, but it's been abandoned. Again, I wouldn't change a thing. I think the room has charm. It's very pretty. I wouldn't change a doggone thing. I wouldn't even take the furniture out. I'd leave it just as is. I love this. Love it. Love the color patterns. Love the color scheme. All of it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Leave it alone. Don't mess with it. Don't try to repaint anything. Leave it as is. It adds character. You paint it, you're going to ruin it. Leave it. Love this room. I don't know what it was used for. Maybe something religious, not sure. But again, more architecture you just don't see anymore. So I don't know what's going on here as far as mold or if there's big amounts of mold that can't be removed. You know, but I would, again, the architecture itself will be saying, can we fix this? Can we clean this up? Is there something we can do? Just because it's such a shame to let this all go to waste. Look at all that space. You know, I know the fireplace is really small, but it has its own feel. I wouldn't change that either. I'd take a look at the ceiling, say, what's going on there? Can we do something about that? I'm just one of those types of people. Just because something is worn out and a little ragged, it doesn't mean that it's worthless. Love the murals. Love them. Love the murals. Love that big, huge fireplace at the end of the room. It's almost out of a fairy tale, like out of a castle or something. Okay, next picture. Oh, I guess that's it. I guess that was the last picture. I wasn't even paying attention. So I guess that's it, everybody. I'm sure Foodie is still on her live because she never does lives that are too short. But I want to share something very pretty and positive with you guys. I know that some of you get worn out with the foodie content and you're like, give us something else, Rose. So I'm going to start bringing more beauty to my channel, just doing fun reacts to kind of give everybody a palate cleanser from all the foodie stuff. So thank you very much for watching. I hope that you have enjoyed this. I certainly have enjoyed myself showing all this stuff with you. Thank you again, and please have a good one.